Hello everyone, I'm FO and I'm still reviewing the game Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists. The second step, Approach and Open, is quite chunky, so we're gonna start straight away. This step, more or less, is the first meeting between Strauss, the author, and his mentor, Mystery. But just who is Mystery? Well, Mystery was a 34-year-old pickup artist by the time the book was published. This is what he looks like. It is actually part of his dating strategy to wear this. His best claim to fame, aside from this book, was to be the host of the reality show The Pickup Artist for 2 seasons in 2007 and 2008. His name, Mystery, came from his background in the 90s as a mentalist. Now, a mentalist is a kind of magician. Their tricks revolve around seemingly being able to read thoughts, hypnotize people, control minds, have telepathic power, that kind of stuff. Now, there is a pretty big difference between a mentalist and a fraud. A mentalist will be very honest that he is using his tricks to achieve illusions. He doesn't actually have any special powers, and he'll be honest about that. But to claim to actually be able to control people would be quite unethical indeed. Famously, the late Amazing Randy, who was a magician, would debunk the claims of people who claim to have these kind of powers, these mentalists. He made a career out of it. Now, why am I talking about ex-magicians exposing some mentalists as fraud? Well, I think you can guess pretty easily, I'm afraid. And now, for absolutely no particular reason, let's keep talking about Mystery. You can find videos online of some of his seminars. He looks like an
I'm
absolute
going to give you another one.
and yet the
You ever hear of
worst
something
things
called the
about
freeze
him
out?
are his claims. During his talks, he speaks of ways to manipulate women and exploiting their insecurities. He popularized the term negging, which consists of insulting someone with a back-ended compliment as a mean of attacking their self-confidence. And now, mind you, even today, the modern pickup artists, those who are left, reject negging as a technique, since it is clearly and explicitly an emotionally abusive tactic. And, the modern pickup artists are not exactly exemplars of feminism. And as a matter of fact, in my opinion, most of Mystery's techniques are really centered around emotional manipulation. And while there could be certainly worse behaviors you could find in the pickup artist community, this is pretty vile stuff. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I teach college level psychology, and during one of my lectures on attraction, I show to my student a video of Mystery. And they react, well, as you would expect. Their first reaction is one of complete disbelief over the way he looks, not in a positive way. And afterwards, they are completely disgusted by the things he says. Mostly, I want to point out that if you are somehow an adept of his methods, this is how you actually come across. First, disbelief and ridicule, and then disgust. But let's get back to this piece of seminal work, shall we? I withdrew $500 from the bank, stuffed it into a white envelope, and wrote Mystery on the front. It was not the proudest moment of my life. Well, at least deep down, Strauss knew that by joining the pickup communities, he was already making a huge mistake. His nights out seducing models and strippers in his hometown of Toronto were chronicled in intimate detail online, the writing filled with jargon of his own invention: sniper negs, shotgun negs, group theory, indicator of interest, pawning, all of which had become an integral part of the pickup artist lexicon. At this point, I think it's worth mentioning that the point of this kind of vocabulary is twofold. First, it lends an aura of credibility to the speaker. Using needlessly complicated language is a very easy way to make the unsuspecting public believe that you actually know what you're talking about. For instance, you could say that the cognitive function necessary to reach an optimal level towards psychoanalytical and behavioral analysis regarding psychopathology is significant. But really, what you're actually saying is understanding mental health is hard. It's not difficult. Anyone can be obtuse in their language. Obviously, there is worth to using very precise and specific language in some situations. Pickup artistry is not one of them, in my opinion. It's just a way to obfuscate what the pickup artist is actually saying. And second, Jargon, as well as using code words and common phrases, is a classic way to create an in group and out group dynamic in order to manipulate people. You know all the words. That means that you are part of us, unlike them. They don't know the words. You're special. You know a secret that the others don't. It's notably a way to manipulate members of a group, such as within conspiracy circles. Just take a quick look at how QAnon conspiracists will use phrases like WWGA, WGA, where we go one, we go all, the cabal, the storm, the deep state. Flat earthers will call other globists and repeating water always finds its level. 9/11 truthers repeating jet fuel can't melt steel beam. Do your research. Neo-Nazis using codes to signal among themselves. 1488, HH, the OK symbol, 1350, referring to black people as pitbull. It's their very own secret codes. And if you know it, it means that you're one of us. Mind you, I can't say if this is a deliberate tactic. However, if I wanted to start a cult, it's the kind of things that I would do. But moving on. Mystery is now producing basic training workshops in several cities around the world due to numerous requests. The first workshop will be in Los Angeles from Wednesday evening, October 10th through Saturday night. The fee is $500. And here I really appreciate the honesty. This is the point of these pickup artists and their seminars. It's to rope insecure men into giving them money. I will say, to be fair, $500 for 5-ish day is a pretty good deal in the pickup artist community. I've seen prices go up as high as $10,000. So, at least, Mystery is not fleecing these poor men specifically too hard. I'm guessing at some point more money will have to be spent down the line, get them hooked early. It is no easy feat to sign up for a workshop dedicated to picking up women. To do so is to acknowledge defeat, inferiority, and inadequacy. It is to finally admit to yourself that after all these years of being sexually active, or at least sexually cognizant, you have not grown up and figured it out. And again, this is really reinforcing that the entire pickup artist movement is really all about preying on men's insecurities. And I kind of want to talk about it a little bit here. So yeah, it's going to come up again and again, the insecurity of men. Why are men so insecure? In my opinion, today there is way more insecurity amongst men, but you don't quite see the same for women. Where are the female pickup artists who will teach you, the woman, the secret of finding a good man? There's the weird Christian trad wives telling women they need to stay pure for marriage and be a good Christian. That's kind of a niche group though. They have very little reach. And it's not like women aren't worried about finding a good partner. It's a pretty important source of anxiety for them. And there aren't a whole lot of female Andrew Tate. That's successful ones at least. And while I don't have a definitive answer as to why men are now so insecure, I'd say it's because, in the past, there was a lot more sources of female insecurity. Just, let's take these two magazines from the 90s as a comparison. There was a lot more pressure for women to achieve a certain look. I mean, there was a whole fashion trend around women wearing shoulder pads to look more imposing at work. But women had something that men don't. Feminism. There has been a long history of feminists criticizing society for its unrealistic depictions and expectations of women. From this, we got body positivity, sex positivity, the legitimization of sex work. We stopped shaming women who don't want to have kids, for the most part, and more things. These are all good. These are all really good things. Society has progressed forwards. And we just don't have the same for men, right? We have the men right activism movement, which is honestly plagued by anti-women and misogynistic sentiment. Even if somewhere down there might be something worth working towards actually achieving equality from the perspective of men and helping men with the expectation that society is imposing on them, it's not really what's at the forefront of the movement, which is a real shame. And regarding feminism, it's not like sexism is over, but there's been a ton of progress. But what about the expectations put on men? If anything, things have gotten way worse. Notably, we're seeing way more cases of male anorexia, orthorexia, which is the obsession over eating well, and bigorexia, the obsession of having a strong muscular body, when I do mean obsession, amongst men. So, what's going on here? Well, on one hand, there really hasn't been much in the way of rethinking what should be expected of men. For the most part, men generally still feel like they're expected to provide, expected to be stoic, expecting to never show their emotions except anger, expected to have a muscular body, expected to be good at manual labor, expected to be sexually proficient, etc., etc. And mind you, if these are things that you as a man are into and you want to achieve, that's cool. It's cool. That's fine. But these are not things that should be imposed on men by others and by society. And it's frustrating for me that any attempt at improving the situation is met with massive resistance. Like, remember the kerfuffle with the Gillette ad talking about toxic masculinity? The behavior of men that are harmful to themselves and others should not be encouraged. That was it. That was the entire thing. And the internet exploded. And I really want to point out that the whole toxic masculinity thing is not about men being bad and making bad choices. It's about what society expects of men. It's a societal problem. You don't solve a societal problem by telling men to be better. Feminists did not tell women that they are bad and they need to do better. They changed what it meant to be a woman, and they are better off for it. We need to do the same with men. And pickup artists are preying, just preying on the insecurities of men to this very day. It is an issue that really has not been addressed, and they are constantly reinforcing it and abusing it. This will come up again and again. Let me demonstrate. A man has two primary drives in early adulthood, one towards power, success, and accomplishment, the other toward love, companionship, and sex. Half of life then was out of order. To go before them was to stand up as a man and admit that I was only half a man. And now let's keep in mind that Strauss, the author, at this point in the book, has a successful career as a journalist and has had multiple sexual partners. And yet he still feels like he's a failure. Enough at least to seek $500 for a boot camp. And this is what I mean when I say there are problems with the expectations society has for men. Also, Strauss, please, spend that $500 on therapy. But no, therapy is for women, I guess. We then move on to him meeting Mystery and the rest of the crew. What's your top score? Sin leaned in and asked as I sat down. They were already assessing me, trying to figure out if I was in possession of a thing called game. My top score? Yeah. How many girls you've been with? And also, this gives us a pretty quick look at how just misogynistic this whole thing really is. Not that that's much of a surprise, but women are just a body count to be unwittingly be part of one of their game. Yeah, cool. Sin ranked in the 60s, Mystery in the hundreds. I looked at them in wonder. These were the pickup artists whose exploits I'd been following so avidly online for months. They were another class of being. They had the magic pill, the solution to the inertia and frustration that had plagued the great literary protagonists I'd related to all my life. And I really do appreciate the candidness of the language here. Another class of being. My dude, they just put their dicks in more holes. Is that how you judge people? Is that how you judge each other's characters? Me? I had sex with 1/6 women. It's the accent, you see. Now venerate me! No. These are some of the women I've dated, he said. In the folder was a spectacular array of beautiful women. Well, I have a folder full of magic cards, which is somehow way less pathetic than dragging around a folder full of one-night stands. And also, let's be honest here, sociopathic behavior, absolutely. The most men will say amongst their friends is to say, yeah, oh, I got lucky. And maybe show the picture of their conquest's Tinder profile. Obviously, Mystery is trying to convince these men just how effective his methods are. But really, it comes off as so pathetically insecure. I mean, look, I've slept with these and these and these. I'm such a man. I'm so manly. It's sad. It's really sad. Anyway, moving on. We talk about one of the other unsuspecting Mark. You're making too much noise. You're walking around too much. You're being a little party pooper. You're being a party pooper? You're making too much noise. Too much noise. It's raining outside. They can't go out. When Sin asked him what his count was, Extra Mask scratched his head uncomfortably. I have virtually zero experience with girls, he explained. I've never kissed a girl before. You're kidding, Sin said. I'm repeating myself here, but therapy. Go to them. It's good for you. You're dealing with trauma in a bad way. Next, they're going to go on the prowl. Think of tonight as a video game. It is not real. Every time you do an approach, you are playing this game. Which, again, pretending that the women that you're about to interact with are not real. Very cool and normal. All your emotions are going to try to fuck you up, Mystery continued. They are there to try to confuse you, so know right now that they cannot be trusted at all. You will feel shy sometimes and self-conscious, and you must deal with it like you deal with a pebble in your shoe. It's uncomfortable, but you ignore it. It's not part of the equation. Yes. You see, when it comes to trying to find love, the biggest obstacle that you will face are your feelings. Repress them. Keep them down. Way down. You can't feel anything. It would ruin it. Feelings are the enemy. How do you expect to feel happiness if you are letting yourself be stopped by your feelings? This is very healthy behavior. Listen to me, a very mentally healthy man. He spoke in a loud, clear voice. Mild, he said, on the motivational speaker Anthony Robbins. Everything about him seemed to be a conscious, rehearsed invention. And here even Strauss admits that Mystery is coming across fake as fuck. How do you think women are going to react to him? They know, you know. They aren't stupid. Like, it's crazy to me. It's pretty well known that women, on average, compared to men, are more socially competent and are better able to pick up on social cues than men. You know, mostly as a result of socialization. But here, you're hoping that somehow women that you meet will get tricked by some of these dudes' antics. No. You can tell he's fake. Women can tell you're fake. Women will tolerate your presence and may settle for you at best. He then explains his process. From there, he tolerated failure, rejection, and embarrassment day and night until, piece by piece, he put together the puzzle that is social dynamics and discovered that he believed to be the pattern underlying all female-male relationships. It took me 10 years to discover this, he said. The basic format is FMAC, find, meet, attract, close. Believe it or not, the game is linear. A lot of people don't know that. Yep, you did it. Yep, Mystery, you got it. You found the code. University professors spending their entire lives doing research across the entire country couldn't do it. The combined effort of hundreds of years of data collections, social scientists, billions of years of combined hours of field observations couldn't do it. But you did it. You, a failed magician from Toronto. It's you who holds the secret of the universe. And you are telling me that it's actually super simple and you'll sell me your knowledge for $4.99.99? Well, I'm sold. Now, Mystery, why don't you really test your theory? You know, write a research paper, get it peer-reviewed, collect your Nobel Prize. No, it's very exclusive, you see. It's only thought to really insecure, misogynistic men on the internet. Damn, we're really missing out here. After approaching the group, he continued, the key is to ignore the woman you desire while winning over her friends, especially the men and anyone else likely to cockblock. If the target is attractive and used to men falling all over them, the pickup artist must intrigue her by pretending to be unaffected by your charms. This is accomplished through the use of what we call an egg. Neither compliment nor insult. An egg is something in between, an accidental insult or backhanded compliment. The purpose of an egg is to lower a woman's self-esteem while actively displaying a lack of interest in her. You're aware that's harmful, right? That's harmful. That's harmful behavior. You know, but what I like to do, I've got my girlfriend and I like to fuck with her. I change her schedule, I hide her keys, I belittle her. So, you know, she feels bad about herself. So she grows dependent on me. You hear how insane that sounds. You hear how much of a sociopath I'm sounding like. That's the kind of manipulation that you are promoting. And again, negging doesn't work. It doesn't. Just reverse the genders and see if it makes sense. If a woman came up to you and said, "Hey, nice shirt. It's too bad you're too fat for it though," you'd tell her to go fuck herself. You'd think, "Wow, what a bitch." That's how you're coming across. "Wow, what an asshole." That's you. Congratulations. I don't alienate ugly girls. I don't alienate guys. I only alienate the girls I want to fuck. This man's just evil. There's not much more to say here. I hurt others for my benefit. He then proceeds to talk about what else? Alpha males. Name the 5 characteristics of an alpha male. Confidence. Right. What else? Strength. No. Body odor? He turned to Sweater and me. We were also clueless. The number 1 characteristic of an alpha male is the smile, he said, beaming an artificial beam. Smile when you enter a room. As soon as you walk in a club, the game is on. And by smiling, you look like you're together. You're fun and you're somebody. The other characteristics of an alpha male were being well-groomed, possessing a sense of humor, connecting with people, and being seen as a social center of a room. Okay, so first of all, you probably already all know this, but the whole concept of alpha males is very much debunk science. Basically, there were observations done on wolves in captivity, and they interpreted the behavior displayed as alpha behavior. They don't actually display these behaviors in the wild naturally, just doesn't happen. Also, because that it might happen in wolf doesn't mean that it's applicable to humans. Whenever anyone talks about alpha males or even sigma males, you can just stop listening to them. They don't know what they're talking about. However, in spite of this, mystery's not completely off here. See, being funny, being sociable, having confidence, that's all good. These are good things. That does make you look more attractive. It does for men and women. The problem here is that mystery won't teach you how to be funny and sociable and confident. He'll just show you how to act like someone who would be funny, sociable, and confident, which means you aren't. And you will come off as fake and weird, and you'll fail. And when you fail, you'll ask mystery, "Why did I fail?" And he'll tell you that you need to be confident. And you'll agree, you weren't actually confident. So you'll try again and fail again. And then either you figure out that this is bullshit, or you'll start to develop a dependency on your mentor. And since you've already paid $500 to do this, you'll stick around, to make it your money's worth. It's predatory. It's salesman tactics. Mystery went around the table and looked at each one of us. "What kind of girls do you want?" he asked Sweater. Sweater pulled a piece of neatly folded notebook paper out of his pocket. "Last night I wrote down a list of goals for myself," he said, unfolding the page, which was filled with 4 columns of numbered items. "And one of the things I'm looking for is a wife. She needs to be smart enough to hold up her hand of any conversation and have enough style and beauty to turn heads when she walks into a room." "Well, look at you," Mystery said. "You look average." And again, that's very manipulative. Like, "Oh, what do you want?" No, you can't have that. You're average. You'll need my help." Ironically, Mystery is attempting to nag his pupils here. He's belittling them in order to try and nurture a dependency of him. It really makes me feel like, pickup artists don't only see women as things to manipulate for their gains. The same holds true for other men. This will come up again. Mystery loved theories. Peacock theory is the idea that in order to attract the most desirable female of the species, it's necessary to stand out in a flashy and colorful way. For humans, he told us, the equivalent of the fanned peacock tail is a shiny shirt, a garish hat, and jewelry that lights up in the dark. So, dressing like a clown. The first piece of information you have on someone sticks very hard, and it's even harder to get rid of it. It's the phenomenon of the first impressions. They are indeed very strong. If the first piece of information you have on someone is that they look like a clown, that's what they'll think of you. And it will take a lot of effort to change their mind about you. This whole peacock thing is really counterproductive. Be well dressed, be drippy. Don't just stand out with a ridiculous outfit just for the sake of standing out. "I have an opener for you to use," he said to me. An opener is a prepared script used to start a conversation with a group of strangers. I say this a lot, but pickup lines are an absolutely awful way of engaging someone. Now, the good thing about them is that it does indicate that you have an interest in the other person. But you don't need a pickup line for that. You can just say, hey, I saw you across the bar, you have a really cool shirt, something personalized. Show that you've put in a little effort, and it lets you come across naturally. Now, the problem with pickup lines is that, again, you come off as extremely fake. If I can use an analogy, it's like the difference between a stand-up comedian doing their bit and seeming like they're telling you a story as they're inventing it as they're telling it to you, versus when someone is telling you a joke about a rabbi, a priest, and a policeman walk into a bar. It's obvious they didn't come up with it. It's not off the cuff. It's not natural. It's not them. They're not acting like they are, and it's not funny. You need to look authentic and natural. Pickup lines are a really bad way to achieve that. Then turn to the girl you want and add, if I wasn't gay, you'd be so mine. A flash of crimson burned up my face. Really, I asked. How is that going to help? Once she's attracted to you, it won't matter whether you said you were gay or not. But isn't that lying? It's not lying, he replied. It's flirting. I'm enjoying doing the voice, sorry. Now, I'm going to hit you with a pro tip. Something I learned from 9 years of post-secondary education in psychology. If your seduction techniques involves lying to the girl you're hitting on, it's probably not great. Why are you so afraid of being truthful, mystery? Why must you lie? I can tell you why. Your strategy is to tell women you're gay so that they won't suspect that you're a sexual creep. Which you are, Mr. Folder of 100 women. Again, the entire thing is about trying to manipulate others. It's gross. And so, our heroes are ready now to hit the club. Joy. Sin sidled up to me and whispered in my ear, "Go Kino." "What's Kino?" I asked. "Kino?" the girl replied. Sin reached behind me, picked up my arm, and placed it on her shoulder. "Kino is when you touch a girl," he whispered. I felt the heat of her body and was reminded of how much I love human contact. Pets like to be petted. It isn't sexual when a dog or a cat begs for physical affection. People are the same way. We need touch. But we're so sexually screwed up and obsessed that we get nervous and uncomfortable whenever another person touches us. And unfortunately, I am no exception. Kino will come up a few times, and it's when you force physical contact with a girl. Now, people don't like to be touched. Don't touch people without their consent, or, unless it's very clear that the vibes of the situation would make that appropriate. Trying to touch people, to try and make them feel comfortable, it's creepy behavior, and it's about to get worse. "Isolate her," Sin said. Suddenly, I felt Sin's breath on my ear. "Sniff her hair," he was instructing. I've got nothing. I've got nothing I could add. Just, what is wrong with these people? "But how do you kiss her?" Sweater asked. "I just say, 'Would you like to kiss me?' And then what happens?" "One of three things," Mystery said. "If she says yes, which is very rare, you kiss her. If she says maybe or hesitates, then you say, 'Let's find out,' and kiss her. And if she says no, you say, 'Well, I didn't say you could. It just looked like you had something on your mind.' You see," he grinned triumphantly, "you have nothing to lose. Every contingency is planned for. It's foolproof. That is the mystery kiss close." Yeah, so if she doesn't really want to kiss you, you pressure her. And if she really doesn't want to kiss you, then you tell her, "Yeah, whatever, I don't care. I don't even like you." Like, yeah, that's very, very healthy behavior. This is a mature, healthy adult male. Yep, that's what we got here. So we break from this wonderful display of maturity and care and empathy towards women, towards a poem that Neil Strauss wrote as a teenager. It is quite enlightening.
Sexual frustration. The only reason you go out, the only objective in mind. A glimpse of a familiar pair of legs on a busy street. Or a squeeze from a female who you can only call your friend. A scoreless night fosters hostility. A scoreless weekend breeds animosity. Through red eyes, all the world is seen. Angry at friends and family for no reason that they can perceive. Only you know why you are so mad.
In the decade since I'd written that poem, nothing had changed. I still couldn't write poetry. And more importantly, I still felt the same way. And really, I think it's quite telling just how stifled Strauss' emotional growth seems to have been. He bemoans not being able to sexually satisfy himself with a girl who's supposed to be his friends, as if he just couldn't see the value in female friendship. Well, let's be honest here, Strauss never had a female friend. And just anger at non existent injustice, just taking it out on others. I'll say this for the last time, but therapy. Go. 2.
Watching Mystery work, I noticed that he used the exact same openers, routines, and lines, and got a phone number or a tongue down nearly every time, even if that woman was with a boyfriend. I'd never seen anything like it. Sometimes, a woman he was talking to was even moved to tears.
Tears of laughter, I presume. After this, Strauss tells his exploit of pretending to be gay to get a girl.
When the bar closed, Elanova and I moved outside. Every AFC, that's average frustrated chump, we walked past gave me the thumbs up and said, "She's hot," or "You lucky bastards." What idiots. They were fucking up my game, that is. If I could figure out a way to tell Elanova I was straight, hopefully she'd figured it out on her own by now.
And here again, we see that the hatred that these people hold isn't just against women, like you would assume. They're also misandrist. Calling just random male passerby frustrated chumps, and then when they give you a sign of approval, you respond to them with absolute disdain, just being completely filled with a fundamental hate for others. Thankfully, Mystery is here to put the misogyny back to the forefront.
Have I ever told you about cat string theory? No. Listen, have you ever seen a cat play with a string? Well, when the string is dangling above its head, just out of reach, the cat goes crazy trying to get it. It leaps in the air, dances around, and chases it all over the room. But as soon as you let go of the string and it drops right between the cat's paws, it just looks at the string for a second and then walks away. It's bored. It doesn't want it anymore. So that girl moved away from you when you put your arm around her, and you ran right back to her like a puppy dog. You should have punished her, turned away, and talked to someone else.
So yeah, women are like cats. You trick them, and if that doesn't work, you punish them. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution, Mystery. The next small chapter is complete filler. It's basically just a copied and pasted message from a blog that Mystery wrote. It's all we've seen so far. Neg, memorizing pickup lines, isolate the girl, lie, pretend you have magic powers, pretty trite stuff. I'm just mentioning this because he punctuates his post with, and I'm not kidding, destroying. Now, truly, we are dealing with an elevated being. Just behold. It is, sadly, time to take a break from Mystery and abruptly move on to another Doctor of Love, Ross Jeffries.
But the undisputed father of modern seduction is Ross Jeffries, a tall, skinny, porous-faced, self-proclaimed nerd from Marina del Rey, California. Guru, cult leader, and social gadfly, he commands an army 60,000 horny men strong, including top government officials, intelligence officers, and cryptographers.
And now I really hope that last part is hyperbolic, because Ross Jeffries is, in my opinion, a complete loon, and anyone who takes him seriously would really consider their life choices. And also, referring to the most prominent figure in your movement as a guru and a cult leader, not a good look.
After years of studying everyone from master hypnotists to Hawaiian kahunas, he claims to have found the technology, and make no mistake about it, that's what it is, that will turn any responsive woman into a libidinous puddle.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. First, hypnotism. It's had its validity quite contested as far as our understanding of it goes. Being hypnotized is kind of like being put in the hazy state you're in, like just before you fall asleep. Like your mind wanders around a lot. It's not possible to be hypnotized against your will. That is entirely fictitious. It is something you only find in movies. Hypnotism can be used in a clinical setting. The person being hypnotized is willing, and it doesn't work on everyone. Again, it is not possible to apply hypnotism to an unwilling person. Anyone saying otherwise is lying to you. And if it was possible, using it this way would be insanely unethical. Like, if you could hypnotize people against their will, doing so should probably face serious legal consequences, and you should be prosecuted under the full extent of the law. Thankfully, can't happen. You cannot be hypnotized against your will. And second, I don't think Hawaiian kahunas means much. Just a quick Google search reveals to me that it just means it's an expert in a field. I'm pretty sure that it's just an attempt to make the whole thing seem more, mystical. And third, calling it found technology is absolutely laughable. Everything taught by Ross Jeffries in this book is pseudoscience. It's not real. In my opinion, Ross Jeffries is nothing but a scam artist. But you don't have to believe me. Just don't take my word for it. It's fine. Here is a video of Jeffries showing his techniques. Link in the description. In this video, you can see him fail at seducing women over and over and over again.
Really gay, but I figured I'd fly in under the radar and see if he had a sense of humor.
Is supposed
and
to
that's
show
the
him in
elegance
a
and
good
beauty.
light.
I'm Ross.
Jeffries completely fails every approach. You can also hear him speak in a very slow, creepy way, which is supposed to make him irresistible.
All of a sudden, she starts to have certain thoughts.
But as far as I'm concerned, it only makes him sound like a maniac. And that matter of speaking, that's his secret technique.
Jeffries developed speed seduction in 1988 after ending a 5-year streak of sexlessness with the help of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, a controversial fusion of hypnosis and psychology that emerged from the personal development boom of the 1970s and led to the rise of self-help gurus like Anthony Robbins. The fundamental precept of NLP is that one's thoughts, feelings, and behavior, and the thoughts, feelings, and behavior of others can be manipulated through words, suggestions, and physical gestures designed to influence the subconscious. The potential of NLP to revolutionize the art of seduction was obvious to Jeffries.
Neuro-linguistic programming is, in the simplest term, bullshit. It's the idea that if you say the right words in the right way, that you can induce an unconscious state in the other person over which they have absolutely no control. Now, does the way we communicate and what we say affect the thoughts and feelings of others? Yeah, sure. That's what communication is. That's the whole point. But the idea that you can manipulate the unconscious mind of someone else in a specific way, that just has no merit. And again, if Jeffries is being truthful, if his techniques actually worked, great! Start researching, write your paper, get it peer-reviewed, collect your fucking Nobel Prize!
Where's your Nobel Prize, Ross? Did you forget where you put it? Is it next to Mysteries Nobel Prize? Is it in this door? Where is it? Where's your Nobel Prize, Ross?
Just where are these pickup experts' scientific achievements? Aren't they supposed to have completely revolutionized the field of psychology? No, of course not! Technical language is used to make the whole thing seem more credible. It's technology, it's neuro-linguistic programming. And if the techniques doesn't work, well, you just didn't quite use them right. They're scam artists. They are scam artists, in my opinion. Moving on, Strauss then meets his wingman, Grimble, who is a disciple of Jeffries.
Oh man, I had a girl over last week and I gave her a whole new identity. I did a sexual value elicitation and then changed her whole timeline and internal reality. Then I brushed my finger along her face, telling her to notice. And here, he switched to a slow, hypnotic voice. How, wherever I touch, it leaves a trail of energy moving through you. And wherever you can feel this energy spreading, the deeper you want to allow yourself to feel these sensations becoming even more intense. And then what? I brushed my finger along her lips and she started sucking it, he exclaimed triumphantly. Full close. Wow, I said. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I wanted this technology.
First, bullshit. Second of all, shame on you twice. Shame on you for believing this drivel, and shame on you for wanting to be able to manipulate people this way. You believe that someone can force women to want to fuck them again, against their will, and you not only believe that, you think it's awesome, and you want to do it. Neil Strauss, you're an idiot and a monster. Congratulations. Go fuck yourself. So, Strauss follows that up by bemoaning men's poor communication skills.
When a man sees his friends after getting laid, they ask, "How'd it go?" And in return, he gives them either a thumbs up or thumbs down. That's how it's done. To discuss the experience in detail would mean giving your friends mental images that they don't really want to have. It is a taboo among men to picture their best friends naked or having sex, because then they might find themselves aroused. And we all know what that means.
No. No, Strauss, no. Actually, men don't talk in detail about their sexual experiences, generally because they have issues with intimacy. And revealing intimate details about yourself and your sexual life, that's scary. That's not something men are comfortable with. And also, the vast majority of men understand that, it's kind of a dick move to reveal details about one's past sexual partner. Real dick move. You, Neil, think that men don't talk in details about their sexual experiences because they're afraid that they might be gay or bi. No, it doesn't even cross their minds. How are you so insecure, Neil? Why are you making your insecurities everyone else's problem? It's now time to practice, so they go out.
As we pushed the door open, a woman appeared.
Weird phrasing, but okay.
Time to put what I'd learned to the test. "Hey," I said to her, "let me get your opinion or something." She stopped and listened. She was about 4'10", with short frizzy hair and a marshmallow body. But she had a nice smile. She would be good practice.
And again, in Neil Strauss's world, people are meant to be used for your own purposes. Think of others as objects and the gains you could get from them. Insane.
Let's try a little exercise. It's called synesthesia. He took a step closer to her. Have you ever heard of synesthesia? It will enable you to find all kinds of resources to accomplish and feel the things you want in life. Synesthesia is the nerve gas in the arsenal of the speed seducer. Literally, it is an overlapping of the senses. In the context of seduction, however, synesthesia refers to a type of waking hypnosis in which a woman is put into a heightened state of awareness and told to imagine pleasurable images and sensations growing in intensity. The goal, to make her uncontrollably aroused.
Again, no. You cannot hypnotize people against their will. That's not possible, and if you could, that'd be monstrous. You're a monster, Neil Strauss. Moving on. The pair then meets with Jeffries. He demonstrates his skill in a section that seems just as fake as the last. However, he follows it up with this exchange.
Anything you want from a woman, attraction, lust, fascination, is just an internal process that she runs through her body and her brain, he explained as he drove. And all you need to evoke, then process, are questions that make her go into her body and brain and actually experience it in order to answer you. Then, she will link those feelings of attractions to you. Sitting in the back with me, two timers scanned my face for a reaction. "What do you think?" he asked. "Amazing," I said. "Evil," he corrected, letting a thin smile creep over his lips.
Okay, so they know that they're terrible people. They just don't care. I suspected as much, but yep, we've got confirmation. Normal people that do bad things will try and justify what they are doing, so they seem like they're not the bad guys, even if they are. Like Hitler himself thought of himself as a hero, but not even these pickup artists do. They know that they're evil and they relish in it. And so ends the second step, approach and open. We did get a further look in the psyche of our main character, and oh boy, it's bad. It's very hard to feel any sympathy for someone who causes harm, know they're causing harm, and are actively enjoying it. There really is only so many ways I can say this, but that's fucked up. That's sociopathic. Go to therapy. But nope, it's it's the world they've chosen, and it's the world I've chosen to cover, so yeah. And thus, join me next time for the third step, demonstrate value. Maybe things will get better. They won't. Thank you so much for watching.